Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Elly Intuitive Insights, your questions answered. Today is the new moon in Gemini, and I have a very beautiful guest here with me. Some of you may already know her, Gosia Lorenz. And if you don't know Gosia, let me read her bio just briefly. Gosia was born and raised in Poland, and she began her work in holistic health and spirituality at a very young age. She's done many programs, including the Silva Mind program, extrasensory perception, Reiki dowsing, body talk system, theta healing, matrix energies, EFT, breakthroughs, mindscape, spiritual life coaching, access consciousness, talk to the entities, intentional healing systems, mind repatterning, mastery, and more. Only for the last 14 years, Gosia has been traveling all over the United States and Canada and to multiple countries in South America, Europe, and Africa, teaching classes and workshops on various subjects, including consciousness awareness, psychic abilities, entities, spirit perception and communication, health and energy healing, women empowerment, abundance, relationships, creation, business, and much more. And she's also collaborating and traveling globally with Transversal Theater Company as an artistic creator and performer. I love that. Working with her clients through private coaching sessions, Gosia quickly discovers underlying foundational energies that create limiting patterns, self-destructive behaviors, negative programs, and she clears, changes, and transforms. She's an expert on the world of entities, spirit, light beings, nature, spirits, demons, extraterrestrials, and when necessary, clears and or communicates with them. Gosia is very intuitive, inquisitive, and insightful in her work, shifting lives of everyone who comes in contact with her. She's a gifted healer, psychic, and transformational leader, published author, engaging speaker, and dynamic change agent. Welcome to the podcast, Gosia. Welcome.
Thank you. Wow, I'm listening like, wow.
Is that me? Yeah, that's me. Well, and for people who, are meeting you for the first time, I'm just going to share a quick story of when I met Gosia for the first time. It was back in 2017 at a book signing event that I was doing at Mystical Bookstore or whatever called out in California. And we were doing remote viewing, seeing without our eyes. And Gosia so accurately, I don't have the photo anymore. I did look for it. I looked for it. Gosia so accurately depicted exactly what the image was. It was so super uncanny that I said to myself after the event, I've got to go beeline straight talk to this lady, because there were, oh God, there were 25, 30 people in that audience, and no one had such a clear remote view as you did. And I was like, okay, this woman's got something. And I mean, we can all remote view, and there was something very special, and I needed to connect with her. And that was the history of, that's how we met, and we started working together, and, you know, just love our conversations and our joint work and the things that we do, and how you inspire people and how you clear entities and just clear all this stuff that's going on that we can't see. So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit today about false paradigms. And the question is, what is that? What does that mean? What does that look like? Can you describe to our listeners, what is it? And what was it that had you come up with this false paradigm concept?
Um, well, I've been looking at different energies and this reality for a very, very long time. And I always was kind of a rebel and never went with the mainstream. And I always questioned everything. I was just born this way, especially authority. So if anything comes from authority, or it's mutually agreed upon that everybody believes in, I will look at that. And as you said, I am intuitive. And if something feels off, I keep digging. So I discovered, and I know many of you probably have felt it for a long time, I know it very well, that we are surrounded by a lot of misinformation on different levels. I'm talking spiritual, I'm talking energetic, I'm not even going into political, not at all. But there's so many gurus and teachers out there and beautiful people. But sometimes, when I look at their energy, I just feel something is off. And what they say is beautiful, they seem amazing. And energetically, all my red flags inside inner alarm system goes off. And I do trust it. I do trust myself. It took me years to develop this deep trust in what I'm getting, even if I don't understand it, or even if it's completely opposite to what everybody's saying.
Right.
So I started seeing that there is so much spiritual misalignment and miscommunication and misinformation, and those paradigms like ascension. We'd all talk about ascension, about new earth, 5D, new Atlantis. But when I look at some energies or some people talking about it, it's really, really off. So as I said, I dig deeper and I discovered that there are frequencies. There are frequencies that create those false paradigms. There are energies, alien frequencies, that create this train of thoughts or create this distortion in the information stream, I would say. So maybe it's something that's 19.87% accurate, but the 2-3% will be something that allows for those false energies to come in or create some kind of vibrational vulnerability for people. Because like some events seem so amazing and the energy is awful. I just can't stop shaking, or I can't feeling like I want to run away. So I really encourage everyone not to go to just like, oh, it sounds so wonderful. Feel what you feel. Go into your heart and start perceiving what it does to you. And there's also another level of, we have layers upon layers upon layers that are coming from this false patterns, from this family patterns, distortion of the earth grid, infiltrations, dark infiltrations of the controllers, and the subject is huge. But we do have implants and systems in our bodies, artificial ones, that will make us maybe drown to this energy. So then it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper into something that's really not authentic, original, divine, pure, loving, that is what and who we truly are. So it's hard to tell everything in like 2 minutes.
Oh, you have longer. but the reason why we're having this conversation for people who are listening is because my vocabulary may be different from yours. However, I have been experiencing this myself. And so part of the reason that I created, for those people who don't know, I've created something called the Academy. The Academy is where I take quantum leapers, people who have done my work, the basic course in my work, and we start to look at what would it take now to leave this paradigm, because it's even not a paradigm. We're going to talk about epistemes, okay? Because this now transcends, and even though it does encompass everything that you're talking about, only why are these gurus feeling so off? And so my really, I've been thinking about this for a very long time. We have, historically, there are things called epistemes. And if anybody's interested, you can look this up, or you can ask me about, you can email me about the epistemes. But epistemes are a behavior that transcends the conscious rules of a society. And then it reaches all levels. So, for example, in the Middle Ages, scientists would have ridiculed, now today, what was considered scientific knowledge back in the Middle Ages would be ridiculed today. So the episteme is unconscious rules that govern the specific scientific conversations at the certain time in history. And everybody takes it seriously. And I feel that we're in a new episteme, and since we're in it, it's like entering into the Renaissance. Only the Renaissance of what? We're in it. So we can't, it's hard to say and to like, what is this? What is this? It won't be known until historically we look back and say, this was the age of. So now, just really quickly, what differentiates this from the other things, So it's not a paradigm. It is, I mean, this is not to say that the false paradigm, I'm talking about an episteme historically over the whole thing, but epistemes rarely happen. There have only been 3 epistemes in over 800 years. So why am I talking about this? So what you're calling false paradigm, I'm seeing as The gurus are trapped, whether they're trapped consciously or unconsciously, they're trapped in an old model of thinking. So we think back to how we manipulate in business. Remember, if you talk to people who do business, sales, oh, FOMO, fear sells, so so all of their information, perhaps it is good information. All of their information is being delivered in a manner that is old, it is outdated, it is manipulative, it forces an outcome, it is controlled, it is not of the light. There's no expansion. And there's the teachers are using the jargon of the light, only they're putting it into an old way, an old model of speaking about things. Like if you're manipulating your audience because you want a sale, you could be talking about the greatest, new age and new this and new that. But your intention, you're still using language from a paradigm that is of manipulation. It is outdated. It is an old sales model that may have been great back in the day, only it doesn't match where we're going with the frequency, with what's coming for us, with the light, with the lightness of being, where we need to go into the expansion to break through this I call it a fish bowl, this unconscious behavior of the fish tank, and I keep going like that because that's how I see us, in the Truman Show, habitual, just talking old people's conversations, not even thinking about what we're saying, regurgitating. And that is where our spiritual gurus are living. And that's fine for people who need perhaps to step into the beginning levels of getting the spirituality. However, I believe that this is what you are energetic, and I'm putting it into some sort of structural word, into linguistics. I believe this is what you're feeling, and this is what's coming through as this false paradigm. They're just not operating in the energy field of the new potential possibilities and not making them wrong. I'm just saying, it's like you're driving an old car. You're hanging out with dinosaurs at Jurassic Park. But in the meantime, spiritually, the energy that's coming through spiritually has nothing to do with Jurassic Park, but you're still functioning in Jurassic Park. Does that, yeah, what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
yes, it was brilliant, Elly. And what came to me is there's a difference between old paradigm and false paradigm. So
Mhm.
old paradigm is, being rooted in this old techniques, old ways of thinking, old ways of being that are not rooted in love, purity, divinity, and
Mhm.
light, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
False paradigm, what I got is intentionally swerving us into a different direction, pushing us into a different direction. And behind that is usually pretty dark agenda. So,
Mhm.
there is, I can say it, there is many beings on this planet. They are not having our best interest at heart, and they have their agendas. Maybe, they just going with their agendas. They don't think about what it does to us, but it does something that's not
Mhm.
great, which is siphoning our energy, stealing our soul energy, stealing our life force energy. So there's so many different paradigms that are designed to literally parasitically engage, hook in, plug in to our beautiful beings and souls and bodies and siphon our energy. Our energy is pretty damn yummy to them. And
Mhm.
there's a big war out there happening to get this energy and as much as possible, as quick as possible out of us. So I think there's a difference. I look at old techniques, they're great. They worked 50, 100 years ago. They have the frequency of the earth, of the paradigms, of the belief systems, of the traumas, of the wars, of everything from those times and what people were dealing with 150 years ago. And I started looking at that for a long time ago, actually. Like some of these, modalities that I study, they're amazing, they're brilliant. We can do things much faster now. Things have changed. We have to update and upgrade the base, the foundation of where we're coming from, not from this old time space coordinates, because it's rooted in the past. Although past, present, future, everything happens simultaneously. But why should we be, pulling the energy from the past if most of the past have been distorted? Most of the past have been obscured by a lot of energies that kept us in the dark. People are now awakening and starting to see what is left and right. People wake up. I've heard of people waking up and seeing the world in a different way. And like, what have I been doing my whole life? What has been going on? This is all a lie. I'm living an illusion. What is going on out there? So some people get angry. Some people get blissed out. Some people get inquisitive. Some people get just very confused, and they will like desperately trying to go into the old ways because they feel comfortable and familiar, but the curiosity starts coming out and pulling them in the right direction. So I think we have to be, number one priority for us is to practice our awareness and trust ourselves, not what somebody else is doing, saying, telling us, but what you're feeling in relation to these words, to this conversation, to this information. I sometimes open, video on YouTube that looks interesting, and literally within 2 minutes, everything in me collapses. Even if the words seem good, the person is pretty, and I'm like, I can't listen. Everything in me, it's like no, and I have to turn it off. And some information, everything opens up, and it's like bing, 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 all these little bells go around. I know this is true for me, and this is authentic. I know now on my Satic alignment, my normal state of being, I can trust it, although, we can never know for sure. We don't know what we don't know, but I know that I can sense it very clearly. So I'm asking everyone to pay attention to these little signs, pay attention to your body, to your mind, to you, do you like feel, oh, I have to finish this course I got, oh my gosh, yes, it's going to give me this and this and this. I'm going to like make millions afterwards. I'll be happy. And I find my love, or because I'm too, or just can't wait to watch the next video, watch the next chapter of this book, or talk to this person again. So just pay attention to all these things. Trust yourself. We know everything.
Yeah, it's true. Everything you're saying is true. We are inundated with information right now to the point where there is a lot happening, okay, on very deep and different levels. And when we can tap into that psychically and understand it, and then connect with what's happening and not discard what we think, oh, that can't be, because we can't see it, doesn't mean it isn't, okay? And so we can talk about that, for forever. What changes have you been noticing, though, like the biggest changes that have been happening for you personally, and your clients? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, there's like an elevation of everything. I feel like whatever hasn't been discovered and dealt with, all the things we like shoved in the corners and under the rugs throughout our life, it's coming out with a vengeance. Everything wants to be looked at, everything wants to be addressed. And it's actually, the purge is happening pretty naturally, but people freak out in the face of this purge and this purification, because it's a natural process right now, and most of us are on the correct setting of alignment with the right energies out there to become more and more and more embodied with who we are, all aspects of us. So all the unhealed aspects, all the things that we didn't want to look at because they were too painful, too uncomfortable, too much to deal with, that gives me anxiety. It really needs to be looked at. So I've seen like a massive uptake in things coming up for people. And that was my experience as well. When I thought everything, I worked so much and I did all of this and I cleared all of that. And then I was going through divorce. And all of this just came up. Like, what is happening? I thought I cleared it years ago, but everything was in my face. So it was really uncomfortable and gnarly at times, but I had to deal with it. And what I also noticed, I feel it's like a big urge and push from the higher energies that I perceive to get strong and get really aligned with who we are, and start looking at what is it that I'm here to do, to be on this planet. What is my mission? What is my role? What all my capacities? What is like people start feeling really uncomfortable in lives. They're not their lives. Like, they have life. It's like,
Mhm.
do life. We know what it means when you do life. And then you die and you can live your life and you can thrive. Most people are in a survival, many people are still in a survival mode. And we know what's going on in the world, of course. But we didn't come here to survive. We came here to thrive. We came here to be those beacons of lights and be the joy and live fulfilled lives. So many people feel this longing for something else. And this like, what have I been doing? I need to find this, what I'm longing for. I always tell them, are you longing for yourself? Are you longing for what is inside of you that you never acknowledge, that you never see? You always seek validation outside of you, but it's actually you never acknowledge the beauty, the brilliance, the preciousness that you are. So there's a lot of recalibration for people. Like all this stuff must go. It's like final sale. All the crap must go. Everything is being sold out. We're being cleared, but also looking at things that you didn't like about yourself, all the judgments, all the things that people, like, I wish I was this, so I wish I didn't have that, or I wish all of that. We need to just embrace it and accept it and be okay with it and reabsorb it in a more neutral way and try to see at our life and all these uncomfortable places with total neutrality. I call it balancing it out, demagnetizing it. So the polarities is collapse, and we can collapse it into the light, into the void. There's many techniques, many ways of looking at things, but try to be as neutral as possible when looking at things that usually like make you like kind of so uncomfortable to remember this event or remember this situation, remember this period of my life. And I've been actively working on it, and it's sometimes uncomfortable, but when I sit really peaceful and really present with it, it literally takes a few seconds. I bring up the energy. Normally I'd be like, I don't want to remember this. Now I pull it in, I look at it, and like, okay, all these things I've been avoiding and not wanting to look at, all the traumatic events or painful or hurtful events. Okay, I'm just going to neutralize all of that and reabsorb it, realign with it. And it's part of me now, but I'm looking at that with total neutrality. And literally, it feels like there's a swirl and there's peace. So I noticed that we are creating different way of embodiment or different level of embodiment, more present embodiment, reabsorbing, recalibrating those unhealed parts and pieces and aspects of us, but also higher aspects of us. Also the other aspects, the future aspects of us, the galactic aspect of you, the angelic aspect of you, the dragon aspect of you. It seems like they're becoming closer and closer. And we have now access to all these different aspects of us, which I didn't feel, maybe I wasn't ready, but I didn't feel like I see it also in clients. Like they are becoming one with this multi-dimensionality of our existence and our presence. So I also think we are becoming more, we have more access to these spaces and places, these multi-dimensional spaces. Like, do you sometimes have when you go from kitchen to the room and you're like, why am I here? What did I, what,
Oh,
why?
yeah, that's all the time. Okay. We know that's, there's many different reasons for that. You probably heard of the most common one is that we're accessing different portals at that moment in time. Is that what you're going to say, or where are you going
Yeah,
with that?
that we're like multidimensional. We might have like traveled the universe and back in that
Yeah.
moment. That's why you kind of forgot that you like wanted to bring the glass of water into
Here,
the
like, what am I doing here?
you
Yeah.
already like went somewhere on the ship and did some mission, rescue mission
What
there.
was I looking for? Right. What was I looking for? Right. Yeah.
Oh, keys. That's right.
What I come in here? Yeah. Then to go back and retrace our steps. I mean, speaking, and I know you're going to do a meditation for our viewers and our listeners in a few minutes, but one of the things that I have begun to experience is, okay, this is, oh, who cares? I mean, you might as well know, people who know me, who work with me, I'm highly psychic and I have all of these abilities, which includes being able to do some telekinesis work. Okay. And what I've noticed now is that I'm beginning to hear and feel the frequencies of electricity. And so when I think about the planet sometimes, and I'm not really sure I want to be talking about this because it's going to go on YouTube. However, we do know that there's something going on outside of our planet that is, affecting the frequencies of the planet. And I feel that energy so strongly that it's almost as if it could take, not that I want to say it's going to take me out of what I have to do. However, I feel the energy out there, the electricity, these currents, these magnetic fields so strongly that they're beginning to affect my physical body on this plane. And do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the solar flares and the collapsing
Solar flares.
magnetosphere and the galactic presence out there.
Well, I was also thinking more in terms of there are companies that are going up and gridding, doing
That, yeah,
all of that,
yeah.
and
So, yeah.
feel that I'm beginning to feel that heaviness around the earth. That is what I'm feeling. That is probably the best way to put it. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, I always am. I'm very sensitive to EMFs, to 5G towers, to cell phone towers. I have to turn off Wi-Fi for the night. Family doesn't like it very much, and I get a lot of complaints. But I literally can't sleep. But what I noticed, once the Starlink, all the satellites, thousands of Starlink satellites have been deployed and activated, I feel the blanket much stronger. It feels like really there's no escape. Before, like in the nature, there was escape from the seas. Now it's everywhere. It will be in the middle of the ocean and it will be, on the highest mountain because we are really blanketed. And I think this is also deliberate. This is collapsing our field, the weakening. Huh?
Of course, it's deliberate.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I know. So it's weakening our field. Our heart has this tremendous, magnificent, huge electromagnetic field. When this is messed with, our energy is decreasing, our capacities are decreasing, our heads are messed with. Like, how often do you just really you have something? I feel it like it's not the sound, but it's energetic sound. I can feel those frequencies in my head, and I can feel like wires are going into my head. Something starts like going through my brain. My brain is very uncomfortable, and I can't believe when people don't feel it. I'm like, really feel it? No, I am like dying in there. So yes, I think many people like it is recognized in some countries now, the electromagnetic hypersensitivity as a complex a disease or disorder. We are still behind because the government is claiming that this is not true. Nothing is happening. Nothing to see here. It's all good. You're all safe. And the norms from the 80s, now they just changed the norms. This is what they did. Rather than say it really is harming you, they just add a few zeros to the norms. So this is how you deal with taking care of your citizens, right? Side note. But what can we do? This is something that I'm always asked, like, what can I do? And I don't want to see ourselves as victims, as like they do this to us and we're so weak and with the effect of that. So I try all kinds of different things. I also feel that this presence is kind of intelligent. Sometimes it seems very intelligent and very deliberate in the attempts to infiltrate us in our field. So I declare my sovereignty. I say you have no right and no permission on any level to enter my field, siphon my energy, steal my energy, affect me in any way. I do we do have nanotechnology in our bodies. We've been sprayed for years. We've been, now it's in the soil, in the air, in the water. It's came with the injections. Unfortunately, people are full of technology outside, inside of their bodies. So what I do, I ask for all of this to demagnetize, neutralize, vaporize, pulverize, and for the body to be okay with it. So I also make sure I am always connected to the source, and we'll do it in a meditation in a minute. So I see it like this grid going between the heads, some cities is very strong, and it feels like everyone is like this hive mind. Everybody's connected to this network, artificial network of thinking, and everybody must watch another show, must do this, must do that, must shop, must eat more, must drink more. It's this behavior of this false paradigm as well. It's part of the false paradigm. No authenticity of who we are. So I imagine that I kind of push through or go through with my frequency and go straight to the source. And sometimes in some areas, I have to repeat it many times because it's very strong. It starts creeping in. But this is my visual or my visualization that I do, and it's really helpful. I also make sure I'm connected to the earth. We're going to do it. And I try to be as stable, as connected, as strong as possible. And I also start saying, I am the one who will dominate those energies out here. My energy will start dominating. I am now dominating the space with my light, with my presence, with my consciousness, with my love, rather than this oppressive, obsessive thing dominating me. So I started doing it, and it actually works. I can feel this ripple coming out of me, but it takes an effort. It's not automatic yet. Hopefully one day.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, at least I know from people that I'm working with, a lot of people are feeling this and have no vocabulary or ability to express what they're going through. So this has been very beneficial and helpful. So I'm grateful for this explanation.
Thank you. One more thing. Can I say one more thing? The AI that we now surrounded with and people are so happy about and excited about, be very aware. AI is species. It's a species. It's a very dangerous, invasive species on this planet. And I know I'm saying it out there. I don't know how it's going to be received, but this is very intelligent power that is, I believe that this is what can bring the end of humanity if we'll not stop being so open to it and inviting it into our lives, because this thing really wants to take us over and really wants to take over our lives. I'm not even touching upon, what's happening to education and everything else, how it's going to replace humans in all these areas of different, production lines and all of that. I'm just talking on a spiritual level, how this thing is infiltrating our minds. When you go on social media, it's your avatar is already out there. Metaverse is a real energetic world that exists. You are in it. This thing will be tapped into you, siphoning your energy, influencing you. This is my latest discovery. This thing is literally influencing us, controlling us, stealing our energy signatures to create copies of us in metaverse. I know this sounds completely crazy, and
doesn't matter
to me too, but I know it's real. I know how I changed when I was like trying to figure out what's going on with me. It was me being exposed to all this electronic social media, and I found so many places and spaces where my energy was being used, so my energy was being depicted in some way, or copy pasted in different places. And once I disconnected,
I had a dream. I'm interrupting you. I had a dream about that the other night. Okay. Yeah. So
chills. No.
Yeah. Oh, but I haven't shared that yet. I was all like
Yeah, so that's what's happening. So we think it's like, it's fun to be on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, but this is a living entity that your energy. So I'm not saying don't go there, but when I go somewhere, I finish, I close, and I say, I withdraw, I pull back all my energy, everything that was taken from me in this moment, and all the energies that infiltrated me, came into me, I'm sending them back. So it's like this disentanglement that needs to happen, so you can be the sovereign you again, at least to some degree, and those energies are no longer allowed in your space. So this is like hygiene. We brush our teeth, we wash our faces and clothes. This is energetic hygiene. We need to have some of these habits, daily habits, implemented, more often now because we are literally attacked 24/7. So I think it's very important. And it's not like I don't want to create fear because it's out there and it's everywhere, but I just want to create awareness, right? Because some people react with fear and like freak out or get really upset about this. I think we just need to be aware and know that, look, this thing is going after us because we are so powerful and we're so amazing and so bright and light. We're not going after this. This goes after us. So what is it that we are that makes us so valuable? I would look at that, right? So step into that. Step into this.
And just this is not just this is a little piggyback over here now. So anybody watching, this energy, this ties into the podcast that happened with Dennis just the week before, where Dennis was talking about the Loosh energy. So there is, so for people, you can go watch that podcast also. So the stuff is real, absolutely real. Gosia, I'm going to ask you to do a clearing energy or a meditation energy or a something. Is that okay? So
Yes,
that
let's do this. I think
all of this yucky stuff that we're dealing with out there, and
yes, you brought up a lot of things for people, I think.
yeah. And I want to be, just before we stop, I want to just tell, I'm a generation that there was no computer, there was none of this stuff, there was no Instagram. So I'm not an Instagram generation person. And so I went to the nail salon. And so for me, like when people are on Instagram for like, I don't know, I was just amazed. Like, oh, really? People do that? So it's just not my reality because of, my where I came from and what generation I am. All right, let's put it like that. So I was at the nail salon and there was a lady next to me and she was watching reel after reel after reel. It was like nonstop. She was just watching reels and reels and reels while she was drying her nails. And I'm like, what an incredible, I didn't even realize, people do that. Yeah, they do that. And that to me was, wow, people do that. They spend hours watching one reel after another of what? Okay. So what a waste of energy, and ability and yeah, your gift, the gift that we are to humanity. What an incredible waste. So anyway, that's my moral issue right there. So I was like, whoa, people do that. Yeah, they
yeah.
do. No.
They do. I agree. I kind of, because I'm the same, I'm the Facebook generation of anything. I grew up with no computers. First one is my college, my exposure. And so I've noticed that scrolling, and it's like I love beautiful landscapes and animals and like pretty things. It's like, and you like think you're gonna see next, and it's so addictive. It's that dopamine production that makes you. That's why kids are so addicted, because it creates this constant high dopamine level that feels really good for the brain and really good and exciting. But then, like after, I was like, oh my gosh, hour passed. What did I actually see? And I tried to remember. It's like, okay, there was like pretty flower and mountain and river, dog. And like, it didn't give me anything. It's this just few seconds of excitement that goes down, and you need more and more and more. So this is intentional. All of this is created to
Absolutely.
addict.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's
Okay.
let's do a nice meditation. So just here, sit down, very present. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel your feet on the ground, or if you're laying down, feel the bottom of your body touching the surface, or your butt touching the chair. Be present. So now I want to make sure you're in your body. If you're not sure, just call yourself in. If I'm not in my body, I'm calling myself in. I'm in my body now. Now you want to make sure you are the only one in your body. We don't want any extras. I'm not going to go into that, but if you have any extras in your body that do not serve you in any way, do not contribute to you in any way, are there to siphon your energy or drain you in any way, you are uninviting them now, and in all beings, entities that do not belong in your body or being asked to leave now, we send them to the source or the earth or wherever they want to go, but they need to leave now. They need to leave now. Everything that doesn't belong needs to leave now. Now, and in all infiltrations, false light, AI source, other source, any technology, devices, systems, frequencies that are in your body and are inorganic, don't belong to you, don't belong in this world, are being pulled out, uninstalled, disconnected, collapsed, neutralized, demagnetized. Sending them all back, past, present, future, other dimensions, realities, timelines, wherever it came from. If you have any doors open, any passages open, any bridges open, through which portals, through which those energies and frequencies are coming in, we are closing all these passages, all these pathways, if they don't serve you in any way and do not contribute to you. Anything that's bleeding through into you, into your world from other dimensions, realities, timelines that doesn't serve you, pulling it all out, collapsing it, undoing it all, clearing it all out from your space, from your body, from your being. Any avatars, AI, copies of you, holograms, clones that are draining you, pulling your energy, siphoning your energy, controlling you or manipulating you in any way. Disconnecting, and doing it all now. You are a sovereign being of light. Nothing has right to be in your space, in your field. Let's revoke and end all permissions, because there's always permission on some level that let them in. And let's ask to heal, reintegrate, recalibrate all the frequency vulnerabilities that allowed the infiltration to occur. Healing, integrating, collapsing into the light, everything that doesn't belong. All the informations coming from false paradigms, false ascension matrix, false light, all the lies, deceptions, half-truths, anything that's designed to confuse you, steer you away from who you are, pulling out all these energies, collapsing them, undoing them, and transmuting them all. What's left? It's pure love, pure light, pure divinity, pure joy. Everything else must go. And unprocessed emotions, negative emotions, situations, people, spaces, places that have cords into you or plugged into you or affecting you negatively and adversely in any way. Let's undo, transmute all of that as well. Neutralize, neutralize, neutralize all of that. And now let's make sure you are connected to the source. So your heart is this beautiful, bright light, diamond flame, however you're going to see it. So imagine this beautiful beam of light shoots upwards from your heart, through your crown, into a place of light, space of love, creation, all that is goodness, the source energy. You're connecting, plugging firmly into the source, the space from which you came. You are the embodiment of those energies. And now, focus on your heart again and shoot down a beam of light through your root, through your feet, into the earth. Connect with the crystalline grid of the earth for support, connectivity, strength, resilience, acknowledgement that we are part of nature. So now you are this beautiful tree, roots deep in the ground, strong, light trunk as your body, pillar of light encompassing you, and the crown, beautiful crown, connected, beautifully aligned with the source. You're feeling grounded, yet elevated, calm, peaceful, loving, joyful, embracing all that you are, everything that you came here to be. Let's ask for all your abilities, talents, capacities, gifts that are stored in the libraries in your body. We have lots of libraries of all the information, knowledge, wisdom from all the lifetimes, dimensions, realities, to start activating gently but surely and start showing up in your life. You are going straight for the true north of you, aligned with your soul purpose. You know who you are. You know what you came here to be. You trust, you love, you laugh. You are. Take a deep breath in. Out. Open your eyes. They were closed. How are you doing?
That was so beautiful, Gosia.
Oh, I'm so spaced out. I think I'm going to take I tapped into everyone who will be listening in the future, and I could just, oh my goodness. There was a quantum field of all that is, that we all have access to and we can perceive. There's so much beauty out there. There's so much kindness and goodness, and people just want to be loved. People just want to have good lives and be living in communities and not struggle and not fight for anything. Just be happy. Like, we came here to be happy. What happened to this world? What happened to this planet?
We won't go there.
No, let's stay in the bliss.
All right. I want to thank you. Thank you. And just people, if you're interested in working with Gosia, looking more into her work, you will find all of the links at the bottom of the YouTube video. And so, Gosia, thank you. I'm excited to see you again soon. And I love you and I love your work. Bye.
Thank you, Elly. Thank you, Elly. This was amazing. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for being in this world and being so amazing. And I love you.
I love you too. All right. Bye, everybody listening. Bye.